welcome back to Minecraft map making with me. So yeah, it's been quite some time since the last episode, and I am sorry for that. I am really sorry for that. It's been way too long. I haven't lost interest in anything, I just kind of stopped doing it for some reason, and I'm not quite sure why. Well, there is a reason, I'll get to that in a minute, but yeah, it's not gone, it's not dead. I'm still very much interested in this map making series. I hope you guys are too. I hope you haven't lost interest, because yeah, I'm rearing to go. So the reason that I haven't made one of these in quite some time is quite simple actually. I have an idea of what I want to do, but it's just how to do it, which sounds a bit silly, but that's the truth. So yeah, I kind of stagnated because I wasn't sure how to do something, and this something is actually a very important thing to the map because it's kind of like ever present in a way, and that thing is exploration. Okay, so I've already mentioned this I think in the last episode if I recall, but basically this game is, or this map is about exploring the universe and doing stuff in the universe and stuff, and obviously more than that, but basically what I didn't want was, I want it to kind of feel like you are in this really big place, this really big universe, and so what I didn't want to do is I didn't want to put like planets and stuff and objects and everything too close together. So I didn't want to have this thing over here and then just like where I'm right now there'd be another planet, because that just doesn't seem right to me. I want to make the universe feel big, and I was having a real hard time on kind of deciding on how to do that, and it wasn't actually until like maybe 2 weeks ago or something that I actually figured out how to do it. And it's not really that I figured out how to do it, there was actually just a small feature that was implemented that I was thinking, I can do that now. So the question is, how do you explore the universe? You know the answer, we all know the answer. The answer is simple. To explore the universe, you use a spaceship. And we are going to be no different. We're going to be using spaceships to explore the cosmos, which is amazing. But this was the problem. This is the problem that I couldn't quite figure out how to do. Is that a spaceship is a vehicle. A spaceship is something that needs to move around everywhere. It needs to be fluid. It can't just be a building. It can't just be a structure. I mean, sure, you could do that. You could build a spaceship and then just teleport someone somewhere. But that doesn't interest me. I want it to actually work. I want it to be a proper spaceship. And I couldn't think of how to do it. And like I said, it was only like about 2 weeks ago that a small feature was implemented that allows us to do this. So that little new feature is called move. Now move isn't actually a command, it's actually an option in clone, okay? So what move does is quite simple. It moves things. So as you can see, it moves this little structure that way, and I can move it back if I go on this command, and that is all fine and dandy. Now you can actually do this without move, it has been possible, but it's kind of convoluted to do, but it was possible. Now, move does actually allow you to do something that you couldn't do before. And what that is you can actually move tile entities. You couldn't do this before because basically how you had to do it before was you had to specifically replace blocks, and you can't do that with tile entities, but you can do it with move, which is really great. There is actually a problem with move though. There is a problem with move. See, as I just said, it does work. It does work with tile entities, but like I said, there's an issue. If I place this in here, and I move it this way, okay, you'll find that it's now empty, okay? So the issue is that when you use move with containers, it sometimes deletes the contents of the container. Now, I think this only actually works, it only actually affects it when you're actually moving towards positive. Okay, so if I press F3, you'll see that when I click this button, this little structure is actually moving in positive direction on the Z-axis, okay? So when you put something in it like that, and it travels on positive on the Z-axis, or maybe the X-axis, I haven't quite checked, it deletes it. But if it's going in the negative direction, like so, it keeps the contents. So that's definitely a bug. I would have reported it myself. Problem is that the bug tracker has never worked for me. I haven't been able to create an account or change my password or anything on the bug tracker, so I haven't been able to report it. I don't know if it's there or not. Maybe one of you guys can check it. Maybe you can report the bug, because I would like this to be fixed, because if it's not fixed, then I can't really do what I want to do. Now, you surely have noticed that there is in fact no spaceship here. This is just kind of a platform, and there's a reason for that. So, as I have actually already mentioned in the past, this map is kind of a hybrid of lots of things. One of those things being survival. You are expected to survive, build, whatever you want to do. And that is actually no different with the spaceship. So I don't want to just give you a spaceship to use, because much like a home, the spaceship is supposed to be yours. So what I want to do here is I want the spaceship to be completely customizable, much like a building or something. You can just place it and it works. So at the moment it's just a blank canvas. It's a blank canvas, and you can build whatever you want within the regions, as you can see here. So the green region's there. You can build whatever you want in there, and that will be your spaceship, and it will function and fly around the universe, and it will be fantastic. Okay, so let us begin. Now, I'm not doing the entire thing this episode. That just isn't going to happen. I think I often set myself a really big task because I feel like I need to do something. I need to do one thing in an episode, and I need to start it and finish it. And when I do that, I feel that, like I said, I've set myself far too big of a task, and then I just lose all motivation. So what I'm going to try to do is just sort of do bits in little doses so that it doesn't seem too big of a challenge. So this episode, we're going to be making just the basic template of the rocket ship. We're not going to do everything. We're just going to make a basic foundation so that it can move and stuff. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but the space you have to work with is a 16 by 16 by 16 cube. That is the maximum amount you can clone in one go. You could use multiple command blocks, but I figured 16 by 16 by 16 is probably enough for what you need, so no need to go overboard. So how are we actually going to make this move? So what we need is basically an entity to kind of be the center of, not the center, but the core of the spaceship, and I've actually named it appropriately. So down here we have a wither skull entity called Rocket Core, and this will basically act as the core, the center of the rocket ship. All of the cloning and everything will be based around Rocket Core. So yeah, another sort of recent feature actually that they added was that you can now rename any entity. So before you could only rename mobs, but now you can rename any entity you like, and this is actually really cool because you can actually specify entities really easily now. You could do it before if you gave them a UUID and then you specified their UUID, but that was kind of annoying to do. But now you can just give them a custom name such as Rocket Core, and when you use a selector and you specify name equals Rocket Core, it will only actually affect the entity, so that's really, really useful. So these little command blocks here are actually quite important. What they do is they just kind of control which direction it goes in. It's quite simple, but for some reason it wasn't working quite as it was supposed to. Like the relative coordinates and stuff were kind of a bit off for some reason. I'm not sure why. But yeah, basically if I just press this one, this is positive Z. This one is negative Z. This one is positive X. This one is negative X, this one is positive Y, and this one is negative Y. So as you can see, the big structure over there moves when I press these buttons. And accomplishing this is actually very simple. So we just have /execute at entity name Rocket Core, so the wither skull entity over there. And then we have a clone command, which is just specifying the region that we need, and it's just moving it in a certain direction. Now, this was what I was just talking about. For some reason, the relative coordinates, so here, was kind of a bit off for some reason. I'm not sure why, so I had to actually add a -1 on the Z. And I basically had to add that on sort of all of them for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it just happened like that. And each of them also have a TP command as well, a teleport command. because the entity needs to teleport to its new destination as well. So I can sort of demonstrate that. You see the Wither Skull actually teleports a little bit after it. So here is the rocket that you should technically have seen if I edited this video properly, which I should have. But yeah, this is a rocket ship. This is my interpretation of a rocket ship, and it kind of works. So yeah, we've got rocket core down here, and it's just basically a building. Now I've actually added a second Wither Skull entity for the for like the whatever it's called, the exhaust of the rocket. So if we just press this button, that one will appear. And we've got some flames to make it look a little bit more rockety when it moves. So it's stationary at the moment, and you can't see particles at this distance, unfortunately. But if I just do this, it goes up, it starts to go up, and it works, and it looks pretty damn cool in my opinion. Now it looks a bit stupid when it's going sideways. So if I go that way, you can't really see, but yeah, it looks stupid sideways, but what are you going to do? I think it looks really cool, and I'm actually really quite happy with this. But I think that's all we have time for today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, a like is always appreciated. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.